So what we'll be looking at is we're looking at enterprise skills and the benefits of being enterprising. We're also looking at the business basics, so things that you might need to take into consideration if you do have an idea or you want to start your own business. And at the end, I'll also be talking about the support on offer if you ever wanted to use the support at university to also help you in that journey. So what does obviously being enterprising mean to you? So what does it make you think of? You know, does it make you think of any particular entrepreneurs or anything particular?
I think it's about entrepreneurship and yeah, and
that's no worries at all. So thank you very much. So what I would say is, you know, people generally think of, you know, big sort of well-known famous entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs are all around us, you know, people from, you know, your local shops to creatives, you know, photographers, personal trainers, people in healthcare sectors, and there's entrepreneurs all around us, and there's people that might not necessarily think of themselves as entrepreneurs, but they've had to develop those enterprising skills to obviously make their enterprises a success. So there's many benefits of being enterprising. So one of them might be that you want to start your own business. So it might be that you might have an idea and, you know, you've got the passion for that idea and you've just got to see it through. One might be, you know, that being your own boss, you know, the flexibility that comes with being your own boss and being self-employed can also offer you. And there's also types of work that just lend themselves better to being freelance or self-employed, when you might maybe go from job to job rather than being in a consistent role in an organisation. It also helps to broaden your career options. So it helps you to, obviously, if there's if you're struggling to find that there's any sort of opportunities out there, you can always try and create your own opportunities by being more enterprising. And it can help you in transferable skills as well. If you've got skills out there that you think people are willing to pay for, you know, being enterprising is a really good way to use those skills. And it might not necessarily be skills that you develop on your course, it might be others as well. And it can also help you to stand out from employers. So employers within organisations can also, people that work within organisations are also, you know, being enterprising can be benefit to employers as well in helping to move those organisations forward. So why look at developing your enterprise skills now whilst you're at university? It's a great time to do it. It can help open your eyes to alternative career paths and options. It can also be a really good thing to start developing your commercial awareness. Obviously, when you're going into an organisation, to be able to have a bit more commercial awareness and look at the business as a whole rather than just your specific area can help that business move forward. It's also a really good time to build on your professional network. So if, you know, all the people that you're studying with at the moment, you know, everybody's going to go out there and find their own way in, you know, in business or in their career. So, you know, building that professional network, you never know when you'll need those networks. So it's a really good thing to do now, and start networking with people as much as you can. It can also be a good time to, if you were potentially looking to be freelance or consultancy, you know, starting out small scale and trying that, you know, how is it, how do you find work, how do you find being freelance as well. So if you've got an idea, you know, you think you've got an idea, you know, but what's the next thing you have to do? So your idea has to be engaging, and it also has to be profitable. Otherwise, the idea won't be a successful business. So, you know, now would be the good time to start looking and doing careful planning and hard work around that idea. So before, you know, if you've got an idea, you know, don't just go straight into it, you know, do some planning beforehand. It will help you later on. So things you need to think about if you've got a business idea is you need to get clear about what you want to do. You want to know how you will do it. So how will that service or that product work or be offered? Who are you going to provide your service to? So who are your customers and where can you find them? Okay, and be aware of your strengths and weaknesses as a business. You might have competitors out there, probably be a new business, so they potentially be weaknesses, but also you might have strengths as well, because you might be able to adapt more, you might be able to learn from the market more than an established business. So you need to take those things into consideration. And one of the ways in which you can do all this is to do business planning. So this might be in the form of a business plan, or it might be in the form of a project plan, and so that you can get all your ideas and information about the business down into one place. And this can act as a roadmap for you, and it can also help to set targets and milestones, because sometimes it can be very easy to come off track and off course with things. So it's really good to be able to go back and check where you're up to with things. And it also can be a viability test. So the work that goes into that business plan will be able to hopefully steer you into making sure, is your idea a credible one? And sometimes business plans can be used to attract investment or partnerships. So it could be a very useful document going forward. And it can act as a time capsule and a future reality check. So, as things develop, you can come back to that business plan, and when sometimes we feel like we might lose our way a little bit, you can go back to that business plan and have a look at what you had, what sort of goals and what sort of plans you had for the business. So here we've got a business model canvas. So this is a really useful tool if you do have an idea, and you can go online and you can search business model canvas, and it'll give you a nice sheet in which you can print out. You can print this out A4 or A3, and it's a good tool when you're at the very start of that business planning to really get some ideas down. It goes through the key sort of elements of the business that you can see there. So it's looking at what are your key activities, what's your value proposition, who are your customers, and how does it all work together to make that business model work and be a success. So there's also, I'll put a link in the chat at the end to a really good video in which you can watch, which will show you how to use the business model canvas. So one of the things that we would do as enterprise advisors is, if we were having a one-to-one, we would ask people when they come in with an idea is, have you done your market research? Because that's one of the key things to being able to find out if your business is going to be worthwhile pursuing. So market research is the most important part of the business planning process. The business plan is often used to present a case for financial assistance towards starting or expanding a business. Market research can be used in a business plan to strengthen the case by showing the business has been thought about and potential customers in detail. So it's being able to provide that it is capable of attracting customers and therefore attracting profit. So where do you start, and what is the value of market research? So the market research should hopefully help you in spotting market opportunities. So it might be that you have an idea and it sort of reinforces, that there is an opportunity out there in the market, or it might open your eyes to other possibilities as well that you might not have seen, or it might be that you do your market research and somebody has already created or is providing the service that you want to do, and sometimes you might be able to adapt, and there are competitors out there, but so sometimes you can change things so that you can compete with them as well. You also want to understand your customers, and so being able to understand your customers will give you a better guide for the business and be able to develop that business model in the most effective way, so that you are attracting your customers and providing a business that they want. Okay, and it can also help to guide your business strategy. So that it might be that doing your market research, you spot certain things in the market. There might be, different times of when you're busier, or it might be seasonal business. There might be things that that new technologies that might be coming that might affect your business. So it can help you to put a strategy together as well for those. And doing all that work and doing all that market research should hopefully help to lower the business risk. So if you went and started a business without doing any market research, you'd probably be at quite a high risk, because you'd be going in there with very little information. So being able to do your market research and giving yourself as much information as possible should hopefully lower the risk of making any sort of major mistakes, and therefore hopefully make a profit, because you're going to have a product that is right for the market. You've got a market that is ready to buy, and you're competitive with your competitors as well. So remember, it's not just your customers that you need to analyse. So customers do need to be analysed to determine how the market can be segmented and what the requirements of each segment are. But you also need to look at your competitors to identify and understand their strategies as well. You need to look at environmental trends that need to be understood to forecast factors that can affect the market. And you also need to look at market characteristics that need to be understood to forecast supply and demand as well. So there's two types of market research, and I'm sure you have done market research before. So you would be looking at doing primary and secondary market research, and these are broken down into primary, which is generally it can be commissioned, so you had to pay for it potentially through a third party, and it provides results specific to your business. So this could be focus groups or surveys that you put out. So sometimes it can be paid for, but sometimes you can do this yourself for free, but you're asking specific questions about your business. Secondary market research is more where you are looking at data that is already out there. So you're probably doing lots of internet searches, and it's generally quite low cost, even though sometimes you can have to pay for some data. And you'll be using the internet, books, articles, libraries to get this information and to back up what it is, or help to define your business going forward. So there'd be lots of work to do if you had a business idea around market research and helping to gather all that information together to develop that business model. So there's also, if you are going to start a business, you have to look at what costs are going to incur in starting that business and running that business, because that will help you as well when you further down the line with your business in what you're going to charge your customers, because you want to be able to charge enough that it then offsets the costs of the business, so that you are then making a profit. So you'll be looking to generate a cash flow forecast so that you can hopefully sort of define what the business needs to make it profitable. And this is generally broken up into three cost areas. So we've got startup costs, fixed cost, and variable costs. So your startup costs would be the first thing to look at, and these are everything that you would spend your money on in starting the business. So these would generally be one-time costs that you would have to do before you can even consider starting it. So it might be, and again, this is different for every business, so it might be that you need a website before you can start. It might be that you need certain software or certain equipment that is integral to that business. So you would be looking to what would you be spending before you even got there, and it would help to give you an idea of, well, if you need £50,000 to start the business, where are you going to get £50,000 to start, or do you need less and you can start off small scale and you can potentially buy things as you generate revenue to grow that business. So then you've also got your fixed costs. These are costs that you would be expecting every month throughout your business. So it might be things like rent, it might be insurances that are reoccurring as well, it might be certain equipment or it might be certain bills that you need to pay every single month for that business. So they would be quite fixed and they will be showing up monthly throughout that business and that cash flow. You would then have your variable costs. So these would be things like wages, materials, and bills that can potentially change. And this would help to give you an idea about how things can fluctuate through the year for the business, because you might have times where you've got a lot of variable costs and it would be quite an expensive few months, and then it might tail off and you might have quieter times. So it is worth sort of looking at and being realistic about your costs, because it'll help you to plan the business in the most cost-effective way. And there you've got this is a sample cash flow forecast, and at the end of the chat I'll put a link into a template cash flow forecast if you wish to complete one or have a look at one in more detail. So the aim of your finances is breaking even. So the point of which all sales cover all expenses, not just overheads. So, you know, you're wanting to break even and, you know, make a profit, so that then you would say you have a viable business. So that is what the costing exercise is all about. So things to consider. Finally, you've got, you know, finding the right business opportunity. So having sometimes ideas don't come straight away. They generally come from experience. So, you know, it might be something that comes later on, but finding the right opportunity for you and also for the market. So doing that market research and identifying your unique selling point. So what's your USP? What makes you different from everybody else? So you might have other competitors out there, people doing the same thing. What is it going to be about your business that makes you stand out against all the others? And you need to run that through your whole business strategy and all your communications with your customers, so that you're ensuring you're selling your unique selling point to them. And you need to have a business plan. So having a business plan helps you make the business a reality and put things into motion, because it also helps you when you are talking about your business and articulating it, because you've been through each section and each stage of that business plan and you know where you want to go. You also have to be able to market and promote your business. So knowing where your customers are and being able to promote to them is also a key thing. You might need to join some professional associations that are related to your field of business. So that'll be different for all businesses, but you need to, you know, stay abreast of these, and also because it can affect any partnerships or any taking on of work going forward if you don't have the right professional associations memberships. You also potentially need to create contracts. So this will help with, you know, if you are a consultant or if you're taking on work, you know, having a contract that is beneficial to you and your customer. And you also need to, you know, have pricing. So price yourself right. So you can always, if you've got other people out there that are offering a similar service, you know, ring them up, find out what they charge, go on their websites, you know, be cheeky, have a look, pretend you're a customer, so that you can price yourself right in the market. You don't want to go too high and people won't come to you, but again, you don't want to go too low and people will think, oh, why are they so cheap? So it's being able to get your pricing right as well. So often, you know, we'd all like to have be the person in that top picture on their journey and reaching their end goal under the rainbow, and it's absolutely smooth sailing. Starting a business probably isn't going to be like that, and there's going to be pitfalls, and there's going to be, you know, things that stumbling blocks along the way. But hopefully, if, you know, going through some of the things we just spoke about, doing your market research, looking at your finances, you know, doing those things beforehand will help to make that road as smooth as possible going forward. So, you know, but also when you do go into those pitfalls, it's really important to learn from your mistakes and be positive and take the positives from them as well. So just before I go into the support that we have on offer at the university for anybody that is looking to develop their enterprise skills, Shahid, do you have anything else that you would, any questions that you would like to ask at this point?
Not really, but just wondering about the primary research thing you mentioned. How do you think the companies do respond to you properly, like genuinely?
So do you mean if you were going to research your competitors?
Yeah.
Yes, I think, you know, you can only try. And so sometimes people are quite generous, you know, with their information, especially if they've potentially started a business. You know, people often quite like to talk about, you know, their experiences. And when you are researching your competitors, you can also approach it as a customer. So, you know,
Okay.
you could go onto their website, you could fill in, you know, whatever process it is for contacting them. You know, you could see how quickly do they get back to you, what's their customer service like, you know, so you can go at it at a few different angles as well. There's definitely the direct route, and also you can have a look at other ways to gather that information as well.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just go on now to talk about the support that the enterprise team has on offer. So if you were looking to come and if you had an idea or you wanted to develop your skills, we've got lots of things that you can get involved in to help you in that way. So very similar to today's session, we offer weekly masterclasses. So as you can see here, we're on to the next one will be on Tuesday 29th of June, and that is all about time management. So, you know, quite a sort of soft skill that everybody could benefit from. But, you know, if you were starting a business, it would be a key skill, you know, to have good time management and to be able to manage your time yourself. And then on Wednesday, the 7th of July, we have a whole day event, a startup school, all about how to start a part-time business. So if you were looking to maybe push the idea forward, you know, you could come along to that, and we've got a live Q&A. We've got other guest facilitators coming in on the day as well, so you can learn everything that you needed to know to make that business a reality and move forward with your idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you go to the previous slide?
Yes, of course.
The first one, the social media and marketing, it shows 9th June. It's already over?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. There will be another session of that again?
Yeah, well, we will be looking to run it again, but we don't have anything scheduled at the moment. But what I was just going to say is if you we do have all our sessions available through our online courses through LinkedIn Learning. So you can
Okay.
you can go and watch the social media marketing session on through LinkedIn Learning, and so you can do it in your own time. So I'll share that link with you as well at the end. So if you wanted to have a look at that session, you can. We will be doing that session in the future. We've just not, with summer starting, we've just not got that scheduled in just yet.
Okay.
We also have business mentoring. So if you wanted to come and have a one-to-one with myself or my colleague Paul, you could book in for a one-to-one, and we could discuss your needs around enterprise and skills and business startup. And you're welcome to as many of these appointments as you like, and we can go on that journey with you around your business development. We also, I don't know if you've heard of Enactus. So Enactus is a student society that is it's a global society as well. looking at different social enterprises and ways in which to help the community, but it definitely has a very strong enterprise element to it. So it's looking at sustainability, and you can get involved in different projects and you can take on different roles within projects. So if you didn't necessarily have an idea yourself, but you wanted to get involved in something that could demonstrate your enterprising skills, and Aptus is a really good way of doing that, and it's a really nice social and group to be part of as well. There's also Launch at Salford Uni, which is the university's incubator. So at Launch, if you had an idea that you were at the point where you were ready to sort of give it more of your attention and basically launch it, you could apply to be a part of Launch. So it works in cohorts, and you do have to apply to be a part of it. So you would, if successful, you would be taken on board, and it's run in partnership with Business Growth Hub. You would get different sort of training and masterclasses, and you'd also be invited to drop-ins and everything that you needed to really sort of push your idea forward. And it also gives you the opportunity to apply for funding grants to use on your business. And so it's a really good way, and it's just the support available is really sort of, it's priceless, and it is a free service. So if you did get to the point where you wanted to, make your business idea a bit more of a reality, Launch is definitely a good way to do that. There's also, I don't know if you've heard about it, Launch has just started a new sort of event, which is Launch Global, which will be running from the 14th of June until the 31st of July, and will help students, international students, to develop an entrepreneurial mindset and enhance enterprise and employability skills. So if that is something that you're interested in, do have a look at Launch Global. They've got a whole host of events specifically for international students around enterprise. So if that applies to you, do have a look at that. And finally, our service is open to you for life. So if you do feel maybe now is not the right time, you can come back to us absolutely at any point. So that goes for careers as well as enterprise. And here you've got all our contact information. I will send slides out to you later. So was it Launch Global that you were interested in the link for? Yes, so I don't think I can take it off my slides. Just bear with me a moment and I'll get you that link.
No worries, you will be sending that slides, right? I will take it from there.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll send you the slides just after the session, and you can pull it off there as well. And so it has all the links within there as well. So hopefully that gives you a good overview of the support that we can offer you, and also ways in which you can get involved, and if you did have an idea, what your first steps might be. So any sort of final questions from you?
No, not really.
No?
No.
Well, that's absolutely fine. So we have finished a little bit early, so you can enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you. Oh, sorry, I've just pressed the wrong button. Thank you so much for joining me.